Good morning, all of you. Let's
Good morning, sir.
start with our next content of the unit 3. And yesterday we have started with the proposition logic, and we are discussing to represent the knowledge for the agent. There is utilization of different kind of formal language, and in that we represent the knowledge with the help of different kind of formal logic. And in there are the two categories of the formal logic. One is the propositional logic, and second is the first order logic. And we are discussing the proposition logic. Yesterday we have discussed the number of things related to the proposition logic. Now in the proposition logic, what exactly mean by the semantics? Okay, now you can see in the world, as you know, the we are representing the whatever the facts there in the real world with the help of the proposition logic. So there are the word is the full, what we can say, full set of the facts are there. Okay, everybody is saying anything regarding the any fact or regarding the any content, etc., etc. So whatever the things are available in the world, these are we are referring it as a set of facts are available in the world. Now to represent this set of facts or the sentences or the statement, etc., etc., we are utilizing the, for example, the propositional logic. Okay, and in that we are going to make to represent these different facts or the real world facts or the statement sentences, we are going to utilize the propositional symbols. Okay, and that propositional symbols is having some kind of meaning associated with that. Okay, here I have mentioned where each propositional symbol interpretation can be mapped to the real world feature. So whatever the real world facts are there, real world sentences, statements are there, propositions are there, that thing we are going to represent with the help of with the help of the propositional symbols. And each of these propositional symbols is having some kind of semantics. Okay, now semantic is nothing but what? Semantic of any kind of sentence or semantic of any kind of fact is nothing but the meaning of that particular sentence. And what semantic determines? Semantic determine the interpretation, as similarly semantic determine the meaning of that particular sentence. What exactly is the meaning of certain sentence? Now to define the semantics of each proposition symbol. Okay, what exactly is the meaning of particular propositional symbol that we are going to utilize in the proposition logic? Let's see with the example. Suppose I write here the statement or the fact like it is hot and humid. Okay, sentence I have written what? It is hot and humid. So it is a kind of fact. Yes, all of you agree. The fact which is present in the real world. Yes, correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it is hot and the humid means this is the fact related with the weather condition. Correct. Now suppose if I represent this for now, this is the combination of two statement or the two proposition, or you can say it is nothing but the which kind of proposition? Compound proposition. Yes or no? This statement is the compound proposition or
Yes.
the atomic proposition. Yes,
Compound, sir.
the
Compound.
compound proposition. So
Compound.
sentence is what? It is hot and humid. Suppose I represent the first statement with the A and I represent the second statement with the B. You are getting here we have the two statement. First is the it is hot and second is the it is humid. So I represent the first statement with the A, that is it is hot, and I represent the second statement with the B, that is it is humid. Now here which propositional symbols we have utilized? Can you tell me which propositional symbols we have utilized here? Yes, Which are the propositional symbols?
Double colon, sir. Colon, sir.
These are the propositional symbol.
And
A is the one propositional symbol and B is the another propositional symbol. Here I have written now, in order to represent these real world facts, we are going to utilize what? Propositional symbols. Now, what kind of propositional symbol we can utilize? In the yesterday lecture we have seen from A to Z. Any kind of propositional symbol we can utilize. Getting?
Yes, capital. Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the first propositional symbol here we utilize. I am not saying the connective, I am saying the propositional symbols. Okay. So A is the propositional symbol which is representing the real world fact, it is what, and B is the another propositional symbol which is representing the another fact, that is it is humid. Now what is the meaning of this A? What is the semantic of this A then? Now semantic of this A is nothing but it is hot, and semantic of B is nothing but it is humid. Understood?
sir.
And that is nothing but the semantic in case of the proposition logic, where what we are doing, we are just representing the real world fact with the help of some propositional symbols, and that propositional symbol indicates the meaning of that particular proposition. For example, here A means it is hot and B means it is humid. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And these sentences can only be true only when its interpretation in the real world is true. म्हणजे काय? Interpretation in the real world in the sense its meaning in the real world is true, then only we can say these sentences are true. You are getting?
Yes, sir.
आपण हिवाळ्यामध्ये म्हणू शकतो का इट इज हॉट अँड इट इज ह्युमिड?
No, sir.
इन द विंटर सीझन? नो. अंडरस्टूड. दॅट इज द मिनिंग ऑफ दिस, की रिअल वर्ल्ड मध्ये जर ते ट्रू असतील, देन अँड देन ओनली वी कॅन से इट इज ट्रू, and then and they only its interpretation, only when its interpretation in the real world is true, then only we can say these statements are true. The same thing I have mentioned, these sentences means these two sentences are true only when its interpretation or its meaning or its semantics in the real world is true. Okay, so point here you should keep in mind that here we are going to, in order to represent the semantics in case of the proposition logic, we are going to utilize the propositional symbol which will represent the different facts in the world. Like here I have utilized the A and here I utilize the B, and this propositional symbol is having some kind of semantics. For example, here A is having the semantic or meaning as it is hot, and this propositional symbol B, it is having the semantic or meaning as it is humid. Understood? And this meaning can be true only when its interpretation or this fact is true in the real world. Okay, so this is nothing but the point of semantic in case of the proposition logic. Now let's come to the another important point, that is the logical connectives or the logical operators utilized in the proposition logic. Okay, so this in case of the propositional logic, in proposition logic we make the use of relationship between the propositions, and this relationship is denoted by the connectives. For example, previously we made the two statement, it is hot, and second it is hot and it is humid. So these are the two statements. Understood? Now in order to represent this relationship between these two statements, okay, or in order to represent the relationship between these two proposition, we need to take the help of some operators. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of operators we are utilizing for that? Some kind of logical operators, or which is also called as the logical connectives. And in case of the proposition logic, there are the these are the in the table I have shown, these are the some of what we can say the connectives are utilized in the proposition logic. So let's see, first one we have, that is the and, or which is also called as the conjunction. Okay, and symbol for this and conjunction is what, like this. All of you can able to see this.
Yes, sir.
Now this if you want to denote the relationship between this connective, then that relationship can be shown like this: P and Q. Here P is what? One propositional symbol, yes, and Q is what? Another propositional symbol, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what exactly it means? Here I have shown the meaning also. Now here P and Q is true if both P and Q are true, otherwise it is false. Understood? Now to define these logical connectives, there is a utilization of one particular, what you can say, technique, that is nothing but our truth table. All of you must be knowing. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
To define these logical connectives, we make the use of the truth table. As I said here, P and Q can be true only if both P and Q are true, otherwise P and Q is false. Now same part I have shown in the truth table also. Here you can see here P, Q, and for example, suppose we want the P and Q. Now we can see here, as I mentioned in the meaning of that connective table, P and Q true only when both are true. Here you can see. If both are true, then only we can have the P and Q as a combined statement as a true. Understood? Now, what is the use of this truth table? Can anybody tell me what is the use of this truth table? Yes.
For defining logical connectives.
In the sense, in another word, in simplified words, can anybody tell me? For example,
Relationship.
now suppose let's take the same example. Suppose we have mentioned here as a, for example, A, like what it is what, correct? I can't write it properly here, but let me show you. It is hot. And suppose now not the P, not the A. Let's see the P here, because in the table we have that, and we have the Q. It is humid. These are the two proposition. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And suppose this is also true, and this is also true. Correct. But combined statement is what? It is hot and humid. Correct. Combined statement was what? It is hot and humid. Now that combined statement we have represented using the two propositional symbols P and Q, correct? Here P, here this statement is true, first statement is true, and second statement is also the true, correct? Now how we can determine the combined statement, that is the what we can, the compound proposition. Compound proposition was what? It is hot and humid, correct? What was our compound proposition? कंपाऊंड प्रोपोजिशन काय होतं आपलं त्या स्टेटमेंट मध्ये?
It is hot
It
and
is hot
humid.
and humid.
इट इज हॉट अँड ह्युमिड. आपण त्याचं काय कन्व्हर्जन केलं? ऍटॉमिक प्रोपोजिशन मध्ये. ऍटॉमिक प्रोपोजिशन मधली पहिली स्टेटमेंट काय आपली? इट इज हॉट, करेक्ट? आणि सेकंड स्टेटमेंट काय? इट इज ह्युमिड. सपोज वी नो that first statement is also true, second is also true. Now from that we have to determine whether it is true or not. This compound proposition is true or not. How we can determine this?
Using truth table.
Using the truth table. Understood? The same thing I have mentioned. Truth table is a table showing what the resulting truth value of complex statement. मग ही जी कंपाऊंड प्रोपोजिशन आहे याला आपण कॉम्प्लेक्स स्टेटमेंट म्हणू शकतो का नाही?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to know what is the truth value of complex statement for all the possible truth values of all simple statement, मग ह्या कॉम्प्लेक्स स्टेटमेंटचे आपण हे दोन स्टेटमेंट बनवले, तर यांना आपण सिंपल स्टेटमेंट म्हणू शकतो की नाही?
Yes.
आणि
Yes.
ह्या सिंपल सेंटेन्सची जर आपल्याला ट्रूथ व्हॅल्यू माहित असेल, आपल्याला माहिती येतं की पहिली स्टेटमेंट ट्रू आहे, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट आल्सो काय आहे? ट्रू आहे, करेक्ट? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
if you know the possible truth value of simple sentence, now from that possible truth value of simple sentence, we can get the possible truth value of complex sentence. And in order to get that, we make the use of the truth table. I hope you have got the point now.
Yes, sir.
So that is nothing but the point of the truth table. Okay, same for the all the kind of connectives. Now first connective is and. Now you must have understood this one. Second is the or, which is also called as the disjunction, and this is represented by symbol this or symbol, and it is relationship can be shown like this: P or Q. Now P or Q is true if either P or Q is true. P or Q कधी true असेल when either one of that is true, either P is true or Q is true, or both of, if the both of them are also true, then also the P or Q is true, otherwise it is false. Same we can see in the table also. In case of the P or Q, this is our P or Q. Now if both are true, then it is true. Understood? If any of this true, then also it is true. If any of this true, then it is also true. But if both are the false, then it is false. Okay? Yes, getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another connectives, we have the negation, that is being having the symbol like this. Now negation relation can be shown like this: negation of P. Now negation of P is the opposite of P. Okay, opposite of P. If P is true, if P is true, then negation P will be false, and vice versa. Same thing also we can see in the truth table. Then we have the another connectives: exclusive or is there, which is being shown relation like this: either P or Q, but not the both, only one of these two. If both are the different, then P exclusive or Q will be true, otherwise it is false. Then we have the implication. Now what is the another name for the connective implication? Symbol for the implication is like this. What is the another name for the implication connective? Yes, implication connective साठी दुसरा एक word आहे. What is that? Hmm? For the implication there is also another word, and for the double implication also there is another word. Conditional and the biconditional. What? Conditional and the, for the implication there is another word, that is the conditional. For the double implication there is another word, bicondition. Okay, so here you can see the symbol for the implication or the conditional is like this: single side arrow. And here you can see the relationship can be shown like this: P implies Q, and meaning of that is what? If P happens, then Q happens. Then we have the biconditional or the double implication. We can see the two-sided arrow: P biconditional Q. If P happens, when P can happens, if and only if Q happens. That is nothing but the double implication or the biconditional. Okay, so these are the different logical connectives are utilized in the proposition logic to show the relationship between the different kinds of proposition. Okay, now let's see the some of the, now this all the things you can see in the example. Okay, this is the truth table for all these different kind of connectives: negation, conjunction, disjunction, implication, or the conditional or the biconditional. Okay, now suppose if you want to see the use, already we have seen the what is the use of this particular truth table. For example, if you have the example where P and Q are given and find the value of, suppose we want to find the value of P and Q, where P is true and Q is false, where the P is true and Q is false, then what is the value of P and Q? Then you can easily find it from that particular truth table. Okay, so that's, you must be getting all these things. Now let's see the some of the examples related with the connectives. Okay, as you know, the proposition logic use the 5 connectives to represent the real world sentences. Now in that first one we have the negation. Suppose if I say that today is the Friday, now this can be represented with the help of this propositional symbol P, and meaning of this propositional symbol or semantic of this propositional symbol is what? today is the Friday. Suppose if you want to say that today is the not Friday, then this can be represented with the help of negation symbol, and the negation symbol followed by the propositional symbol. If you want to see the example of disjunction, or the which is also referred as the or, for example, if I say you should eat or watch TV at a time. Now in the exam, this you will get the this kind of sentences, okay, this kind of sentences or the proposition, and for the 2 marks you will be asked to write the proposition for that, or write the proposition logic for that particular sentence. Now for example, you have the sentence this: you should eat or watch TV at a time. Then how we can write the proposition logic for this? What is the first step in writing the proposition logic? First you need to represent that facts or the sentences with the help of the proposition symbol, correct?
Yes, sir.
So first, this given complex sentence, we have to represent it using the propositional symbol. Now here if you utilize the propositional symbol P, and this propositional symbol meaning, we are here having the meaning as you should eat, and second propositional statement we are having, that propositional statement we are representing the second propositional symbol, that is Q, and meaning of that is watch TV at a time, or watch a TV. Now this is the first step: represent the given complex sentence using the propositional symbol and convert it to the simple sentence, and last write the proposition logic for that. Now proposition logic for that is simply nothing but this relationship P or Q. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So this kind of question always being asked in the exam. You will get the 4 or 5 sentences, and you will be asked to write the proposition logic for that kind of sentences. If you want to see the example of suppose conjunction, now suppose you have get the statement like this: study well and get the marks. Study well and get the marks. So first we transform into the simple sentences using the propositional symbol P. Meaning of the P is the study well, meaning of the Q is get the marks, and simply we can represent it using the P and Q. Then suppose if you want to see the example of conditional, if there is a rain, then the roads are wet. This is the sentence given. Now we have to write the proposition logic for that. So first represent it using the propositional symbol P, meaning if there is a rain, Q meaning the roads are wet, and simply we have the proposition logic for that as a P implies Q. Getting this?
Yes, sir.
In the similar way, if you have the biconditional, in case of the biconditional, suppose we have the statement like this: I will go to the mall if and only if I have to do shopping. What? I will go to the mall if and only if I have to do the shopping. Now here we use the propositional symbol P, meaning of that I will go to the mall. Another symbol we use here Q, it's semantic, I have to do the shopping. Now this is the biconditional, okay, and this is can be represented with the help of this P double implication Q. Okay, so in this way you can have the proposition logic for different kind of facts in case of the in case of the first way of representation of knowledge, that is the our proposition logic. Okay, now suppose uh, here one more example I have taken. Okay, uh, suppose in the exam you get the statement you can access the internet only if you are the CSE student or not a fresher. Okay, this is the complex sentence you have given. What? You can access the internet only if you are CSE student or not a fresher. Now here how many propositional symbol will required?
Three. Three.
We require the 3 propositional symbol first to represent the first this statement. Suppose you call it as a P. Second, we require the propositional symbol To represent the another statement, now you can access the internet only if you are the CSC. So Q will represent you are the CSC student. Okay, here Q, and then not a fresher. This can be represented using the R. And simply you can now write the logic for that. You can access the internet only if you are the CSC student. Now, is this the which kind of connective we should utilize here in case of the first two statements? Which kind of connective will required? Which kind of logical operator will required? You can access the internet if you are a CSC student. We need
Conditional.
the conditional. Condition काय की तुम्ही CSC student असला पाहिजे. So that's why here you can simply write the logic in this way. P implies Q. Next we have the another connection here, or not a fresher. Not म्हटलं आता इथे not. Then which connective will required?
Negation.
Negation. आता आपण propositional symbol R use केला, means we need to write the negation like this. Now where we should put the parenthesis now? That is important. आता these are the how many conditions are there in this sentence? If you want to access the internet, how many conditions are there?
3 conditions.
किती condition आहेत?
2.
2 condition आहेत ना?
2.
First is what? You should be a CSC student, and second, you should not be a fresher. That is the reason you should put the parenthesis like this. And then this is the complete logic, proposition logic for this statement. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So putting the parenthesis is also the important thing here. If you just write like this without putting the parenthesis, then it will not represent the complete meaning of this sentence. You are getting? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And in this way, to represent the any real world fact, for example, a different kind of real world fact, for example, present in the English statement, in order to represent these various kind of logical fact present in the real world in logical expression form, AI agent is need to take the help of this kind of proposition logic. Okay. And in this way, we have seen we can represent the different kind of these real world fact or the English statement in the logical expression form. And using this representation in the proposition logic, AI agent can understand this notation and perform the different kind of activity or the decision. Understood? So this is nothing but our, you can see the in the level of implementation of knowledge based agent, we have seen the 3 levels. First was the knowledge base, knowledge level. Second was the logical level, and then we are discussing the details about the logical level, where we are representing the knowledge into the proposition logical form. Now why we are representing it into the proposition logic form? So that our AI agent can understand it. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is nothing but about the proposition logic. Now here are the some examples I have given. You can note it down and you can work it out. It is cold and dark. I am breathing if and only if I am live. Cat chases the mice or bird. This kind of sentence have already asked in the exam for 2 or 4 marks. Okay, so you need to write the proposition logic for that the way we have written. Okay, this is just the homework for you. Okay, you can write the proposition logic for that. Now next come another important point in case of the proposition logic, that is the inference rules. Now already we have discussed what do you mean by the inference, where we can get the new sentences are formed with the help of the logical references. Yesterday also we have seen when you get the new sentence from the old sentence and we reach to the some conclusion, that is called as the inference. Suppose, for example, another example we can take here. If A equal to B and B equal to C, then we can have A equal to C. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, these kind of things, these kind of logical things are represented in the knowledge base. You are getting the point. Knowledge base of what? AI agent. Correct?
Yes.
These kind of, now the meaning of A might be something, meaning of the B might be something, because A and B, A, B, C are propositional symbols. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So while we are representing the real world facts into the logical form, we are representing it with the help of some propositional symbol, and these things are present where? In the knowledge base. Understood? And in the knowledge base, if the agent find A equal to B and B equal to C, then from that the AI agent can easily make the conclusion that A can be equal to C, and this is called as the inference. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
So, in short, we can say inferences rules say that the new sentences can be created by logically following the set of sentences from the knowledge base. आता इथं न्यू सेंटेन्स कुठला जनरेट झाला आपला? A इक्वल टू सी. कुठल्या सेंटेन्सेस वरून? A इक्वल टू B and B इक्वल टू C. Correct?
Yes.
And how we have generated this new sentence? With the help of the inference. With the help of the inference. So there are some rules of the inferences also in the proposition logic, and with the names we can have that. Okay. For example, we have the modus ponens. In that modus ponens inference rule is like this: x comma x implies y. Now these x and y are nothing but the propositional symbols, understood, present in the knowledge base. You can see here second column. Here I have second column is what? Premise in bracket knowledge base. Premise in the sense these are the proposition present in the knowledge base. Now when this kind of proposition will be present in the knowledge base? When we represent the real world fact using the propositional symbols. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
आपण ज्यावेळेस रिअल वर्ल्ड फॅक्ट प्रोपोजिशनल सिम्बॉल्सने इंडिकेट करतो किंवा रिप्रेझेंट करतो, त्यावेळेस ते कुठे स्टोअर केलं जातं? इन द नॉलेज बेस. सो इन द नॉलेज बेस वी आर हॅव्हिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ व्हॉट यू कॅन से propositional symbols and the relationship. Okay. Now for example, if the in the knowledge base we have the relationship like this: x comma and x implies y. Now from that conclusion can be made as a y. That this particular inference rule is called as the modus ponens. Then another rule is their substitution, where if x implies y and y implies z, now from that conclusion can be made x implies y. Chain rule is there: x implies y comma y implies z, and the chain rule says that from these inference rule which is present in the knowledge base, we can have the conclusion x implies z, and that is the reason it is called as the chain rule. And introduction, and in the knowledge base its representation is like this: x comma y, and from that conclusion can be made x and y. Transposition inference rule is there, which is in the knowledge base represented like this: x implies y, and its transposition is like this. Transposition means what? What is the meaning of transposition? Yes. Transposition means what? From that you can tell me the meaning. What do you mean by the transposition? From the
Negation.
negation or the reverse of particular thing. So you can see here x implies y, from that conclusion is what? If you are doing the transposition, conclusion is what? Negation of X imply negation of Y. Okay. So these are the different inference rules are also utilized in case of the propositional logic. And now let's see the last point in case of the proposition logic, that is nothing but advantages of the proposition logic and some of the limitations of the proposition logic. Now advantage is what? It is the simple way to represent, correct? We are just making the utilization of propositional symbol and we are representing the sentence. Yes or no? Okay, that is what the advantages of the proposition logic. Now, first advantage, proposition logic is the simple knowledge representation language. Is it true? Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
आपण काय करतोय प्रोपोजिशन लॉजिक आपण फक्त काय करतोय एक प्रोपोजिशनल सिम्बॉल यूज करतोय आणि कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेन्स काय करतो आपण डिवायडेशन करून एक सिंपल सेंटेन्सेस मध्ये रिप्रेझेंटेशन करतो. दॅट्स व्हाय इट इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज इट इज अ सिंपल वे ऑफ रिप्रेझेंटेशन ऑफ द real world facts, and we can also say here proposition logic is the simple knowledge representation language. Now it is another advantage is what? It is sufficient and efficient method for solving some AI problems only. आता काही जे what we can say some simple kind of sentences okay which can be easily represented with the help of the proposition logic. That's why here it is being said it is sufficient and the efficient method for solving some AI. इथं all AI म्हटलेलं नाहीये. You are getting? Some AI based problem can be easily represented or solved using this proposition logic. Then next one, it is the foundation for higher logics like the first order logic. What do you mean by the foundation for higher logic? Means what? The next kind of logic representation we are going to see, that is the first order logic. Now, in order to see the representation of knowledge using the first order logic, we have to take the help of the proposition logic also. That is also it's one of the advantage. Getting the third advantage? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Extension for the proposition logic is nothing but our second type of logic that is the first order logic. म्हणजे काय? जर फर्स्ट ऑर्डर लॉजिक आपल्याला जर यूज करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला कशाची मदत घ्यावी लागते? प्रोपोजिशन लॉजिक, करेक्ट? आता ते ज्यावेळेस आपण सेकंड रिप्रेझेंटेशन बघू त्यावेळेस तुमच्या लक्षात येईल. बट इन ऑर्डर टू रिप्रेझेंट द रिअल वर्ल्ड फॅक्ट युजिंग द FOL, we have to take the help of the proposition logic. That's why it is considered as one of the advantage of the proposition logic. Then we can utilize the process of inferences in the proposition logic also. So we can make the utilization of the different inferences rule in case of the proposition logic. That is also one of the advantage of the proposition logic. Now limitation is the important part here, as there are the major limitations are there in case of the proposition logic. Okay, and because of that we have to go forward and we have to see the next kind of logic, that is nothing but our FOL, first order logic. Now for example, what are the kind of limitations? Now major limitation is what? We cannot represent the relations like all, some or none with the proposition logic. आता आपण जेवढे काही स्टेटमेंट्स बघितले त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला you have not seen any kind of these kind of words like all, some. Have you seen?
No, sir.
Sir, because proposition logic cannot be utilized if there are the certain kind of relation in the real world facts. Which kind of relations? The relations where these kind of words are utilized. For example, all students are intelligent. काय? All students are intelligent. आता याचं proposition logic मला कोणी लिहून दाखवू शकेल का? Is it possible to write the proposition logic for this statement?
No, sir.
No. But we have to represent it using some logical form. मग ते रिप्रेझेंट करण्यासाठी आपण काय यूज करणार आहे? Our second type of logic, that is what? First order logic. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
For example, another statement, some apples are sweet. काय सम ऍपल्स आर स्वीट, हे आपण रिप्रेझेंट करू शकतो का प्रपोजिशन लॉजिकने?
No.
फक्त असं दाखवणे की ए अँड सम ऍपल्स आर स्वीट, हे याला आपण लॉजिक म्हणू शकतो का? याला आपण लॉजिक म्हणू शकतो का?
No, sir.
नो सर. स्टेटमेंट.
हे एक स्टेटमेंटच झालं ना, याच्यासारखंच एक स्टेटमेंट झालं, कारण याच्यामध्ये आपण काहीतरी रिलेशनशिप दाखवू शकत नाही. रिलेशनशिप आहे की नाही याच्यामध्ये सांगा मला. ह्या स्टेटमेंट मध्ये
नो सर.
रिलेशनशिप नाहीये. ह्या स्टेटमेंट मध्ये रिलेशनशिप नाही असं म्हणायचं तुम्हाला. ह्या स्टेटमेंट मध्ये रिलेशनशिप आहे का? ऑल द स्टुडंट्स आर इंटेलिजंट, याच्यामध्ये रिलेशनशिप आहे का?
No, sir.
रिलेशनशिप नाहीये. मीन्स यू डोंट नो व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय द रिलेशनशिप. रिलेशनशिप म्हणजे असं नाही की ते दोन स्टेटमेंट असले पाहिजेत आणि ते कनेक्ट केले गेले पाहिजेत, त्याला रिलेशनशिप म्हणणार नाही आपण. यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द मिनिंग ऑफ रिलेशनशिप. जर दोन स्टेटमेंट एखाद्या कनेक्टिव्हनी कनेक्ट केले गेले असतील त्यालाच रिलेशनशिप म्हणायचं असं नाहीये. इथं रिलेशनशिप कुणालाच इथे कुणालाच वाटत नाही की इथं रिलेशनशिप आहे. in these two statements or the sentences. Think on that. All the students are intelligent, first example, and second example, some apples are sweet. ह्या दोन सेपरेट स्टेटमेंट आहेत. Yes. Shantanu. Is there any relationship in this statement or in this statement? If you are saying no, then why no? Yes. Tell me something.
आहे सर रिलेशनशिप.
रिलेशन
आहे सर.
काय रिलेशन आहे?
सर सम ऍपल्स आर स्वीट म्हणजे
हा,
ऍपल्स ते स्वीट आहे काही त्यातले असं म्हणजे त्यातलं रिलेशन
ऍपलची
आहे.
प्रॉपर्टी आहे ना तिथं.
येस सर.
बरोबर की नाही? काय म्हटलं तिथं? सम ऍपल्स आर स्वीट, म्हणजे ऍपल आणि ऍपलची इथं प्रॉपर्टी लिहिलेली आहे काहीतरी. मीन्स देर इज अ रिलेशनशिप ना.
येस सर.
सम प्रॉपर्टी इज असोसिएटेड विथ दॅट. तर ही गोष्ट आपण प्रोपोजिशन लॉजिकने रिप्रेझेंट करू शकतो का? प्रोपोजिशन लॉजिक मध्ये तेवढी एक्सप्रेसिव्ह पॉवर आहे का?
No.
नो. याच्यामध्ये काय रिलेशनशिप आहे? फर्स्ट सेंटेन्स
स्टुडंट अँड
मध्ये
इंटेलिजंट.
स्टुडंट आणि इंटेलिजंट. Then how you can see there is a no relationship? Yes. Now all of you agree there is a relationship between these sentences.
Yes, sir.
येस सर.
Yes, sir.
या प्रत्येक इंडिव्हिज्युअल सेंटेन्स मध्ये काहीतरी रिलेशनशिप आहे. इथं तुम्ही बघू शकता ऑल द स्टुडंट्स म्हटलंय. काय म्हटलंय? इंटेलिजंट. काय म्हटलंय? सम ऍपल्स आणि त्याची प्रॉपर्टी म्हटलंय स्वीट. इथं वर्ड यूज केलाय सम. सम म्हणजे काय की काही ऍपल स्वीट नाहीयेत. यू आर गेटिंग द पॉइंट.
Yes, sir.
अंडरस्टूड. मग ह्या गोष्टी, these things can we represent, is it possible to represent these kind of sentences using the proposition logic? That is my question. No. Understood? And for that reason, we are having our second type of the logic, that is the first order logic, which can represent these kind of sentences very easily. That we will see in the next lecture. Understood? And this is nothing but the major limitation of the proposition logic, which you can write in the another words, it has the limited expressive power. Correct? Proposition logic is having what? Limited expressive power. Limited का म्हटले? कारण असे जे वर्ड्स आहेत, all, some, none, ह्या, if this kind of words are there in sentence, then that kind of sentences cannot be represented properly using the proposition logic. And in order to represent that properly using the proposition logic, we have to make the use of first order logic. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's it for the today's lecture. We'll see the next time first order logic. Okay.